Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's January 15th, 2020, and it is a quarter to 8 in the evening. And another mild day across our area today. We had the sun, but it was hazy, and the sky was not really that nice. The air quality wasn't great. But the good news is, as you can see according to this map, you see cold air that is coming down now into the northern tier of the United States. This is some Arctic air coming down. If we pull this out, you'll see this is Arctic air. Can we zoom this out? Let's do this. This is vent 2 sky. So you'll see that we got some Arctic air finally starting to come down. You can see now Arctic air over much of Canada, and it's going to finally start to come down. And we're going to start to see this pattern change into a more typical pattern for winter. And enough of this spring and winter nonsense that we've been experiencing for the past month or so. So you see the cold air here. If we go to the weather and hazards map, you'll see you have freeze and wind chill advisories in effect. I think these are wind chill advisories up here in this area here. Wind chill advisories are in effect because it's going to get very cold. You can see it's already very cold there. 1 degree, -8, -13 in North Dakota. So you can see where that cold front is, and you can see there's also some showers over here. Cold front's going to be moving through later overnight tonight, first part of it. And then there'll be like a little second front. So I'll show you. We'll draw this out for you here, and we'll show you here. So put this in the blue so you can see here. So we have this first front coming through here. That's right over here, it looks like. All right, so first front right through here. What am I drawing here? So this is the first front. That's going to bring the temperatures down to the 40s tomorrow after it moves through early tomorrow morning. All right, so this is the first front. And then we have the next front, which I'll draw in a little colder shade here. That's over here, and this is the Arctic air right here. So this is the Arctic front right here. So this is all heading our way. And this is gonna mean, no, we're not gonna see temperatures in the single digits, but we are going to see much colder weather as we head into Friday, and especially into next week. Things are going to improve a lot across our area. Let me clear this, and then we're going to go back to this and look at our area. And right now, the immediate the temperatures right now in our area. Depending on where you are, temperatures are now on Long Island. Temperatures have sunk to the upper 30s with some radiation cooling. Looks like it's 27 at West Hampton. So West Hampton is 27, and Farmingdale is 39. But the problem is, if you're more toward the city, you're at 45 at JFK. So even here in Mineola, it's not all that cool. It feels like it's in the mid-40s. It actually felt colder when I was in Hicksville. Surprisingly, New Jersey's cooled off again, but it's the same reason. Relatively undeveloped. You have the Pine Barrens, Miller Air Park, 32. So the temperatures do drop off at night, whereas the urbanized areas have a tendency to hold on to the heat. If that's the one plus about this part of New Jersey, it may be hot during the day, but it does cool off at night usually when you have radiational cooling. Whereas in the urbanized areas like New York City and northern New Jersey over here, it does not cool off as much. So that's important to note. We also have a wind advisory in effect. So if we go and we look at the Weather Service website, you'll see we have a wind advisory in effect. You see Central Park. And that wind advisory is till, I believe, 7 p.m. Thursday. So we have the wind advisory till 7 p.m. We could see wind gusts 45 to 50 miles an hour for your Thursday as this colder air comes in. We'll look at the high today, which was 51, so well above normal. It was well above normal. Not much of a sea breeze either, but this above normal weather is going to be coming to an end finally. So you can see here we're going to look at the GFS, and we are going to first look at the let's first look at the surface. So you'll see here is the low, weak low, cold front over here. Might get a little light rain overnight, then it comes through, and then this low intensifies as it gets over to the Gulf of Maine. They could have some snow in Maine. We're not going to see any of that. But temperatures start dropping. You can see how tight those isobars are, so we're going to have some strong winds for Thursday. And then the winds slack off a little bit, but we're still going to have wind Friday. North wind, look at that, the way the high is oriented. North wind a north flow coming right out of eastern Canada. So that means Friday is going to be a cold one, and then we have this next system moving in for Saturday. The models keep going slower and slower and slower with the Saturday system. Originally, the precipitation was supposed to start early Saturday morning. Now it may not start until Saturday evening, and the GFS has it starting as a little light snow, then changing over to rain, and this is the next big weather player that we'll have to deal with as far as precipitation goes. That moves out, then another cold high moves in, and another Arctic air mass for Wednesday, and it looks like tries to get something going there offshore Wednesday. Maybe a little bit of a low there, maybe a little bit of snow, maybe. And you can see here high builds in. We have more cold weather, and then we have the next system coming in. And look at that! Wow! So starting to see this pattern change. The storms are finally starting to track to the south. We may have some chances for snow. Finally, like I said, looking a lot more wintry. And look at that. That looks a lot better. So it could be another snow event maybe around January 29th there. So we're seeing a change in the pattern, and this is very important. So now I'm going to go to the upper air, and I'm going to pull this, and you'll be able to see. I'm going to pull this into the North American view here, so you see what's going on. All right, so the pattern we had is starting to change, and we're starting to see this ridging in Alaska, and a trough developing over here, and a trough developing over here, and we're starting to see the breaking down of the polar vortex. And when the polar vortex breaks down, pieces of it come down into the United States, and that's what we're seeing. Starting to see cold air. You can see there's the flow right there. Let me draw that for you. This is for Saturday, so let me draw that cold air for you again here, and you'll see what I mean. So let's draw that down. You can see this is looking very good. So there you go. Right, this is actually behind the storm. So this sets us up for more cold air coming into the region after the storm on Saturday, and bringing more cold air into the region, and that is going to stay that way. So we're going to have this trough in the east now. We've got a block here right over Greenland. This is where you want to see a high. So this keeps the cold air coming down, and so you have a piece of the polar vortex break off, cold air over our area next week, and then look at the jet stream. So we have more of a suppressed storm track, trough in the east, so storms go more to the south, and that means likelihoods for snow as we round out this month. So and plenty of chances. It looks like we'll have a couple of chances for snow here, and cold air too. So this is a great look to have. Finally, we're seeing winter. We're supposed to have winter in the east again. For those who keep saying they like this weather, look, I understand you like it, but it's winter time. You're not supposed to have this weather in the winter. All right, it's supposed to be cold. All right, so here is the Euro. I'm sure we have that agreement on the Euro too. Yep, we do. The Euro doesn't have quite as many storms here. And it does have a little bit more ridging in the east, but you could see that this pattern has changed, and now we have we no longer see the Arctic air cut off. Now we have this with this flow south from Canada and from the polar regions, so it keeps temperatures colder than normal. So let's take a look and see how that's going to affect our area. So let's go back into the northeast here. Let's look at our temperatures, and let's take a look and see what it is going to do to our temperatures as we head into tomorrow. So you'll see the temperatures start to drop off tomorrow. We're in the 40s now, but then that cold air really comes in, and we sink down. By Friday morning, we are down into the teens, wind chills in the single digits. And Friday, we're not going above freezing. Highs probably only going to be 25 to 30 degrees probably, and then for Saturday, when we have that precipitation move in, we have the cold air in place. The problem is, unfortunately, we have the warm air coming in, or fortunately, if you don't like snow, we have the warm air coming in and changing it over to rain, and we'll look at that a little more in detail a little later. So here is Sunday. You can see the cold air coming back, temperatures dropping through the 30s, and here we go. Really cold air for Monday again, only in the 20s, mid-20s. Tuesday gets even colder, mid-20s. Wednesday, still in the mid-20s. So we're going to be below freezing. And look at this, Thursday, we may struggle to reach 20 degrees. So it stays cold all next week. We're not getting above freezing next week. So we're going to have a nice little deep freeze all week long. We're staying below freezing pretty much, right into the remainder of the month. We're going to have a very cold period. And look at that. The cold air just keeps coming. So look at that. Isn't that great? So, I'm glad. We need this. And for those folks who like trees, you need the cold to kill off all those insect pests. And for those people who don't like getting bit by mosquitoes and ticks, you need the cold to control their population. So, very good look right now for the weather. Finally, something to look forward to, something to be happy about after weeks and weeks of misery. Let's take a look at our skies. So we're going to look at our skies next. All right, so tomorrow, Thursday, we'll probably have some clouds around, partly sunny conditions, more sun, I think, in the afternoon. And then for Friday, we start off maybe with a few clouds early in the morning, and then it's a nice, sunny, cold day for Friday. Saturday, increasing clouds. Sunday, we could also have another clear day on Sunday. And Monday, we'll have to see what happens with that. Might be some clouds around. Tuesday, there may be some clouds, mainly because we're going to be having clippers coming on through, reinforcing the cold air. Wednesday is tricky because on Wednesday we have that storm forming offshore, so we'll have to see what happens with that. Thursday, we're cold and sunny, and Friday we are cold and sunny too. So a great pattern to be in, and if we just go ahead and we look at the snowfall here, let's see how much snowfall it gives us right to the end of the month here. This is the GFS, of course. Well, look at that. Gives us 7 to 8 inches of snow. So look at that, and look at that. Look at New Jersey. You could be talking now. This is over a long period of time, and obviously the accuracy is to be questioned. But we could finally see some significant snowfalls, which has been missing all winter long. We haven't had any snow at all, which is, like I said, we've had some snow, but very unusual to see this lack of snow. Very unusual and very worrying. So now we turn our attention to the next system. All right, so we're going to look at it first in the GFS. See a little light rain tonight, but the next weather maker is going to be coming in later Saturday. Starts as snow and then changes to rain. And you can see that line is very close to our area, so this is going to have to be watched. We may see a couple of inches accumulation before it changes to rain. Probably won't stick around if that rain falls, but if it doesn't get washed away, it probably will wind up sticking around because it's going to stay cold after that. I'm not going to go beyond that period. But that is the GFS. Let's look at the NAM and see how the NAM is handling this storm here. Again, this is the 18Z NAM, so let's take a look at that. Now the NAM is a lot colder. See, it brings the precipitation a little sooner, around 21Z, and it's all snow. And it might stay snow over a good part of Long Island, and maybe not over New Jersey, but a good part of Long Island it may wind up staying snow. And let's see what the NAM accumulation is for snowfall here. For this storm, and the NAM gives us only a couple of inches, but a little more. Again, there's a sharp cutoff, and if you just go north and west of the city, now you're talking more like 5 or 6 inches of snow. So we'll have to see what happens. I'll have another update before the storm, so we have a better idea. Obviously, it's a little far in advance, but this is something to watch, perhaps. But I don't think it's the big one. Yeah, it might give us a little snow, but if you really want to get a lot more snow from it, you're going to have to go north and west of the city for that. Well, let's look at the NAM sky cover and see how that does for tomorrow. So for tomorrow, you see it starts off cloudy, but then we see some more sun in the afternoon and maybe just a few patchy clouds. It's Friday that looks like the nice, sunny, clear day. So that will be the day. And then we get into this wintry pattern, and I think it's... finally, it's about time. It's winter. It's supposed to be cold. It's not supposed to be like this. It's just not supposed to be like this. So let's look at windy.com here and take a look at the wind speeds here that we're going to be dealing with because we do have that wind advisory in effect. So we're going to be looking at wind gusts here. This, of course, uses the Euro model. So let's see what we have for wind gusts tomorrow. Yeah, we could have some strong wind gusts. This is 11 a.m. We could be seeing wind gusts 39 miles an hour. It's nothing terrible. It's not going to be as bad as the last wind event, but the winds are going to be up there, and the wind advisory is needed. So you're going to have gusts around 45 miles an hour. Temperatures dropping into the 40s, as you'll see. And then as we go into Friday, I think the wind quiets down a little bit. So let's see. Yeah, it quiets down a little bit. So, 34. But it's still going to be windy, and that's going to create a wind chill, especially when we look at these temperatures, which are going to be down at 23 degrees. A little warmer in Tom's River, 25. And 11 a.m., let's see where we're at, 27. So it's going to be cold. And let me look at the clouds. I'm sure it'll be, yeah, we're clear. So that's going to be good. Let's look at the clouds for tomorrow and see how many clouds this is around. There's a little more cloudiness for tomorrow. But you see it's patchy, though. By 3, it's gone. So it's patchy clouds for tomorrow. There'll be some sunshine tomorrow. And then we go and we look at the precipitation situation for Saturday. Let's see what the Euro is saying. Let's see. The Euro has us beginning as snow and then switching to rain. So, yeah, the Euro has us the snow just north of the area by Saturday night. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Obviously, I'll have more information Friday night when we do the next weather update. Let's see. And then it gets cold. Saturday, Sunday, let's see. Euro may not be quite as cold as the GFS. Not quite as cold. Euro is actually warmer. That's interesting. So we do have, like I said, we have a discrepancy. The GFS seems a lot colder for next week than the Euro, but it's still going to be cold. So that's the bottom line. It's still going to be cold, and it's still going to be below. It's still going to be normal to below normal. Yeah, there is a big difference between the GFS and the Euro for next week. But either way, we're going into a different pattern. Say goodbye to the 50s and say hello to some winter. And just to remind you, 2019 was the second hottest year on record. So it continues a global warming trend. Remember, all the hottest years on record have been in the past 5 years. And that, of course, is due to climate change. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's, I can't tell you what to think, but the facts say our climate is changing. And, when we can get winter, you got to enjoy it while you can, because it's going to become a rarer and rarer thing in this cold weather, So that's going to be it for this weather update. Take care. Thank you for watching.